Dinner at Blenheim Palace will be hosted by the Prime Minister, who will also be delivering a speech. Our chief political correspondent, John Craig, is here. You've got it hot off the press. What's she going to say?
Her big message, really, is that she wants a good trade deal with the Americans post-Brexit. Now, according to Number 10, the 4 subjects they're going to talk about tomorrow when they sit down at Chequers are trade, Russia, ahead of course, the President's visit to summit with President Putin, the Middle East and Brexit, of course. And the President wasn't that helpful when he said he wasn't sure if the Chequers deal was what people voted for. Now, she's going to make a speech shortly, and the key message is she's going to talk about, obviously, a little bit about Churchill, because that's where they are, Blenheim, but also she's going to talk about all the people here who work for American firms, all the people in the UK who work for, in the US who work for British firms and so on. And then on Brexit, she's going to say this: as we prepare to leave the European Union, we have an unprecedented opportunity to do more. It's an opportunity to reach a free trade agreement that creates jobs and growth here in the UK and right across the United States. It's also an opportunity to tear down the bureaucratic barriers that frustrate business leaders on both sides of the Atlantic. So, some sort of trade deal, or even the promise of a trade deal over the next 24 hours, that will be a boost for, not just for trade, but obviously for the Brexit process, you would claim.
Well, I imagine over the next few hours we'll see how that's gone down at Blenheim Palace. We'll be back there a little bit later on. John, thanks for now. Just before we launch into a debate about that white paper that was released today, let's bring you the latest pictures that we've had in from Salisbury. The breaking news a few minutes ago that there are emergency services on site at that ZZ restaurant in Salisbury, where you might remember Sergei and Yulia Skripal attended on the day of their poisoning back in March with the Novichok nerve agent. And as you can see from these pictures, there is a relatively large security presence, fire brigade, police, and we hear ambulances on site in Castle Street. Wiltshire Police are saying that they are currently dealing with this. The incident involves a man in his 30s, and they're taking highly precautionary measures because of the ongoing incident in Salisbury and in Amesbury, where recently Charlie Rowley and Dawn Sturgis also suffered poisoning with that Novichok nerve agent. The police go on to say they do not want people to be alarmed. They hope they understand the reasons behind this. They'll update us with any further information, and they also add there is nothing to suggest any wider risk to the public at this time, but they are asking people to avoid the area that you're seeing, and as you can see from the pictures, it's cordoned off as well. We'll bring you updates on what's happening there this evening in Salisbury and at that Zizi restaurant as and when we get them. For now, let's turn back to Theresa May's blueprint for how Britain will leave the European Union. The government published that Brexit white paper with the Prime Minister saying it delivers on the Brexit that people voted for. Some Brexiteers say it is a bad deal for Britain. Let's discuss with the Labour MP Wes Streeting, who's supporting the campaign for ordinary people to vote on any final Brexit deal. Also here, former Conservative MP and Trade Secretary and now Lord Peter Lilly. Welcome to you both. Just want to start, Lord Lilly, by asking you, you made your maiden speech today. What did you say?
Well, I was talking mainly in a debate about pensions and savings, so it wasn't relevant to this, I'm afraid. Though I did mention that I took the title Lord Lilly of Offa, and King Offa did have some altercation with Charlemagne, who founded the European Union, many would say. At the same time, the Emperor Charlemagne united Europe and closed all Europe's ports to British shipping. But King Offa subsequently was able to negotiate the first trade deal between Britain and Europe. I just mentioned that to explain why my title is what it is, because I live in a ward called Offa in Hertfordshire.
Of course. Now, the Lords have been a thorn in the side of the Prime Minister when it comes to amendments to the Brexit bill. Are you going to continue that?
Well, I've only just arrived in the Lords, literally my first speech today. I think there will be problems from many of my fellow peers in the Lords when the trade bill goes through. The customs bill won't go to the Lords because it's a tax bill. There won't be trouble from me, at least not from that direction, though obviously I'm rather unhappy about the white paper from a different direction from what has been predominant in the House of Lords. I find it very difficult to accept that it does fully meet all the opportunities that Brexit would create.
Let's talk about one of those opportunities, and John highlighted it in the Prime Minister's speech at Blenheim Palace, this free trade agreement